The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
Welcome to the Novak and Frantz show. I am not Franz, and CJ is not Novak, but
not at all.
We're the best you can get this week. But with us, we have April and Phil Margera. How you guys doing?
Hey, good.
Awesome,
How you doing, Taylor?
Awesome. I'm so happy to be back here. It's been a while because we did a show here early on in the Novak and Frantz podcast experience. We were supposed to all be back here, but something happened to Frantz. CJ, what happened to Frantz? Where's Joe Frantz?
Joe Frantz tore his bicep. So
ouch.
He has to get surgery on it, and he's a very negative person right now.
Very upset.
He's not.
Yeah.
He believes he's going to die on the operating room table for minor surgery.
Oh, I knew something was wrong when I actually texted him yesterday, and I had heard that he tore his bicep, and I said, "Oh my gosh, are you all right?" And he said, "No."
But he should come up with an awesome story instead of "I was trimming rose bushes."
I know.
Yeah,
he should come up with something badass.
Now he can't because now it's known what happened to him.
You just spilled the rose petals.
There we go. We got our first caller.
Okay, awesome.
Oh wow.
We're gonna take some calls. We got a bunch of people that want to talk to you guys.
Okay.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hello.
You're on the phone with April and Phil Margera. You got a question for them?
I do have a question. First of all, hello to everybody.
Hello there.
Hi. But I do have a question. I wanted to know, as hokey as it sounds, I wanted to know what was concerning Bam. Is there like a specific moment in his life that happened before he became kind of known and famous, that just made you the proudest, like before the fame and before he was doing anything, in the limelight? What was the moment before that made you the proudest?
Wow, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Well, in the skateboarding part of it, he tried out for the NSAs and did the best 1-footer I've ever seen.
He was only, 10 or 12?
Yep.
I mean, that was before he was famous, and there is no age restriction for the Brick NSA competition. So if you're 10 years old or 28, you compete with everybody, and he placed in the top 10, and I think that was really, really impressive. He also won a karate trophy. Remember that?
Yeah, he's a black belt karate guy, and he won a trophy. And he was only 10 when he did that, wasn't he? 8 or 9?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was, he was always kind of high octane as a kid. He always had to be entertained. And it's pretty funny that he now has a son who does not need entertaining. Phoenix is pretty happy to just keep himself happy, even at a young age. And I'm like, he so didn't get the kid he was, But no, Bam always made us proud. He always was funny. He always entertained his teachers. He might not have been the best student, but he was very entertaining. And I think most of my, PTA meetings or teacher meetings, the teacher always started out by saying, well, Bam is so entertaining. And I thought, oh boy, it can only go downhill from here. So yeah, he was always definitely a piece of work for sure.
Thank you very much, caller.
I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me ask a question, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Have a nice holiday weekend.
So we explained where Frantz is. CJ, where's Novak?
Well, we have another caller. So.
Oh, we'll get to it after the caller. Callers take priority, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller. You're on with April and Phil.
Hi.
Hey, April. Hey, Phil.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. You gotta say I'm a huge fan of the shows from back in the day.
Thank you.
I just want to know what's life like now that things have kind of seemed to calm down, or have things kind of stayed the same relatively?
Well, do you want me to answer that, or do you want to answer that?
You answer it, but
I'll answer it
put
my way,
this
and Phil will answer it his way.
Well, real quick, it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
But here's Abe.
Well, when we were doing the shows, even when we were doing CKY, it was always really, what's the word? A little stressful, because you just didn't know like who was going to come in the house and do what. A lot of times I would come home from work and the guys were like cooking everything I had in the kitchen because they were doing a restaurant scene for CKY. And why is there a whole great big saucepan full of mustard? Like I never understood, kind of, it was just always a pain that way. And, of course, filming Viva La Bam and Jackass, I mean, you just didn't know what you got from day to day. And since the show has left, it seems like for several years where the chaos was kind of like a chaos that was controlled by a show, it seemed like Bam created the chaos to fill the void. And honestly, if I was given, the choice to film the show with contrived chaos that he kind of like rained down on us, or the stressful chaos of addiction or craziness, I would take the show. Actually, for Phil and I, it seemed to get worse after the show left because of trying to understand the dynamic of what happens when you're on top of the world and everybody wants to do everything for you. How do you control that? And then the show leaves. So, I mean, it's a little maybe deeper than you wanted, but the truth is that that's the truth.
That's actually a really good answer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it perfectly explains it. Phil, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Can I come and paint your kitchen blue for free?
I would let you, but April wouldn't. She hated it.
We did get our kitchen painted for free.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but she went nuts.
You didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it. I didn't.
Are you high? I mean, are you high? Like, it's, what? Let me tell you. Guess what the worst part of that blue kitchen was?
Was it the eggs?
Nope.
I bet it was the eggs.
Nope. It was called painting everything in the pantry blue. And you think you might know things, but tuna and cat food look the same. And you're not going to take the chance. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to take the chance to eat that. I think that's tuna.
Well,
like, you don't know.
If you need anything blue, I'm your guy.
You're the guy to call?
Oh, and earlier that pot of mustard was for rake, by the way.
Whatever. You can paint Phil blue for free. Actually, I'll pay you to paint for Phil. See how much he likes it again.
Thanks so much, caller. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So quickly before there's another caller, CJ, Novak is where?
Amsterdam, since he's decided to travel abroad every year to collect his medallion, chip, whatever you want to call it, for 4 years of sobriety so far.
That's great.
That's awesome.
He wants to go to places that he thinks he would enjoy because he kind of enjoyed it the first time but doesn't really remember.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting for him to pick a spot that he thinks he's going to enjoy, and it's the most horrible experience of his life because he thought he had a good time there on drugs.
Right.
But that is a good idea to do that.
I can name a lot of places he went that he probably didn't even remember.
I have a question from a friend of the network. Her name is Kat. Big fan of you guys. She wanted to know, Phil, do you still have any of the shirts Bam ironed hamburgers on in the first episode of Viva La Bam?
Pretty much most of them. I grew a little bit, so they don't fit that good anymore. So I still have them.
He still has them, and he still wears a lot of them. But I'm like, Phil, come on. Like, I think they're starting to rot.
A couple of the underarms are rotted. The pockets fell off, but I still like them.
It's terrible. He won't get rid of anything. He's a hoarder, I think. You're terrible.
They're comfortable at this point. They're broken in.
Oh, come on now.
They can't be beat. They're comfortable. Nothing wrong with them.
I'd like to beat it.
Someone else on the internet wanted to know what's next for you guys. Are you guys in Pennsylvania for life? Are you going to retire to Florida? Are you going to be snowbirds? What are you thinking?
we'd never retire to Florida, and we're not. I mean, if being here means being a snowbird, I don't know. But
Snowbird is when you are here for like the summertime, and then you go down to Florida for like the wintertime. So you avoid the snow the whole time.
I plan on being here, don't you?
Yeah, we're here. I mean, I have a business right up the street, and it's called Rose Hip Barn, and I do vintage furniture, and we have the tea room. We're open periodically, which is like 3 days a month, and sometimes we have pop-ups. So it's fun. It's more of an event.
Yeah.
And we have 5 grandkids that we adore, and we like being both, near both of our boys and their wives. So it's, it's nice here, and, I think we live in the slop capital of the world. We just kind of don't get any really bad weather, but we don't always get really great weather. But yeah, I think it's a nice place to live here.
I feel like it's been like raining every weekend for the
no
past
kidding,
year,
right?
right? That's what I feel like. Otherwise, the weather's great here. It's just Saturday
it is nice.
through Sunday, it's garbage.
Yeah, Friday night it starts going south.
And we truly do get the 4 seasons. We enjoy that.
I do love fall. Yeah, I love
All
fall
4
and
seasons
spring.
are different and awesome.
When
You
it's
only-
110 degrees and humid, ugh.
You only get 2 seasons in Florida: summer and summer part 2. Pretty much. I mean, it's really
I
what
can't
it
stand
is.
the humidity down there.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Let's see. Favorite Jess story. This is a question. This is a Franz question. Do you guys have a favorite Jess story? A lot of people, it's always, bam, he's in the movies, he's doing this, doing this. What's your favorite Jess story?
I got a couple for him. CKY was on tour. Maybe 2006. And they were traveling all over the United States, and it was summertime. And I remember getting this picture. Jesse sent me a picture, and I'm like, what kind of hat are you wearing? And he says, I'm not wearing a hat. And I'm like, well, what's on your head? And he says, well, it was so hot in Arizona that I shaved my head bald, and I didn't want to put sunblock on. So I got burnt so bad, I got blisters, and then I had to go to the medic tent, and then it all crackled, and it looked like a leopard skin cap.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? What?
Wow.
Are you nuts? He says, well, I was hot. And I'm like, how much hair could be hot? You have thin little hair. Why would you shave it? It was crazy.
Wow.
So that was a crazy story. The other crazy story is when they did CKY 2K and they went to Iceland. And when I saw that footage of him holding on to the top of a van while they're zooming down roads, I wanted to kill him. And he's going to be 41 this year, and I still yell at him for doing that.
We got another caller, CJ?
Well, real quick,
Phil.
what's this show rated?
This, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, no. Wait,
I don't know if I should tell this
No,
story.
maybe you shouldn't.
Because I hope his wife knows about it.
Okay, stop. Nope. Stop. What are you going to say?
I have to say
Tell me what it is.
it's the best story ever. And I got to say,
No.
when he first moved to California.
Oh, no.
You don't know the story, do you?
Yes, I do.
I never mind.
All right, we'll go to the caller.
Okay.
Caller.
The caller.
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Welcome to the Novak and Frantz show without Novak and Frantz, but April and Phil are here.
Do you guys think there'll be a Jackass 4?
I'm kind of hearing some stuff,
Some
but I'm not
rumblings.
sure.
We're hoping it'd be
We're
fun.
not sure.
We're hoping.
What do you mean you're hoping? Like it'll be fun? I love this.
I like our little scene we get every show.
After they already film it, we're in the clear and we're in the movie theater, but during while it's happening, you're not exactly the most thrilled person.
I am nervous and aggravated during that time.
Thank you for being honest anyway. If that answers your question.
Do you want there to be a Jackass 4 or no?
I do.
Yes and no. It just seems like they kind of like target me a little bit. And I you know what it is? Just picture that you're sitting at work, okay? And something might happen today or tomorrow or the next day or the middle of the night, but you don't know when and you don't know what and you don't know where. Who's the worst enemy? You to yourself. You
Right.
will make yourself paranoid. You will make yourself crazy. You will clean up. You will look nice. You will do everything, but it doesn't matter because they're going to get you when you least expect it. And that is the hardest part.
But we still want it to happen.
Oh, what a delusional fool.
I want it to happen too. Thanks for taking my call. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, caller. I have a personal question for you guys in regards to that kind of that thing there. What was they've pranked you guys so many times. I remember one of the first things I ever saw was him digging a hole for you to fall into with your lawnmower, Phil.
Oh.
That was one of the first things that I remember. And what was the craziest thing that they did to you guys personally? What was the thing that like either scared you the most or just caught you completely off guard? I mean, they've done a bunch.
They've done a really bunch. I have to tell you that the first show of Viva La Bam with that skate park and that rain, like we knew when we were in Atlantic City they were doing something, but I had no idea that they would ever. Oh my gosh! I mean, they took every part of the house. It was pouring rain, every part of the yard. And the worst part, like the things that happened that were the worst you don't know about because of the rain, because they needed to put tarps over that big ramp out there. They took a tarp through our bedroom window and tied this tarp that was now full of water to my husband's gigantic desk. Okay, to the leg of it. It pulled the desk across the room and went into the bump out of our room. And once the show was done, wrapped up, and they were done that little scene, it started to rain, and it rained in our house because it had pulled the bump out
About
down.
2 inches from the house, it pulled the
All
bump
that
out.
weight pulled it down. So all the little holes that they've put in our house for like castle doors and moats, that's another thing. First time ever we ever had professional landscaping, and we waited forever for the lighting and the landscaping, and it was like, come on, are we almost done? It's been weeks, and they finally finished. It's beautiful. I think we enjoyed it for a week and a half. I came home from work, and there was a great big digger digging up every bit of work that this guy just spent weeks and weeks putting in perfectly.
Ripped the lighting right out. Didn't care about the lighting. Just
They
ripped
didn't.
it right
They
out with
ripped
a
the
lawnmower.
lighting right out that
Not
we
the
had
lawnmower.
specially waited 3 and 4 weeks for to come in, and then they put it all down. And you know what? The things at our house have not worked right since they left because they said, "Don't worry, we'll put it back the way it was." They never do.
Wow.
And then you've got lighting that doesn't work. If it rains, it goes out. Our Christmas lights go out if it rains. You know, we have drainage problems. We have problems here and there and everywhere. And my poor grandkids say, why is there a trap door in the roof to the bedroom? And I said, well, you know what? That's where a fire pole was. Well, where's the fire pole now? I said, well, we had to take it out. Why would you do that? So, you know, I think when they finally got to the age to watch all these shows, you know, we watch their faces because they ask all the time, why do people know you?
Right.
Like why do people want to take pictures with you? Like, you don't even know them.
I was
So-
going to ask you, how often do people recognize you guys in public? And do you like that? Do you like it when people come up to you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I mean, even now, which I'm surprised because, you know, it's been years since we've done it, but it's amazing how many people come up and hug us and want to take pictures and things like that after all this time. And, you know, of course, we don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, really, in life, I mean, if that bothers you, then you got a problem. I mean, people are just being kind.
It's actually dwindling, so we do need to make Jackass 4.
Stop it.
Bill's not getting as much attention
Oh,
anymore.
yeah, right.
Yeah, the autographs and pictures are dwindling. Let's do a number 4.
Oh, okay. But our grandchildren are like, we missed all the fun. This sucks so bad. Like, you know, where's the elephant? Where's all the fun skateboarding monkey? This stinks. You know, we just missed it all, and we got ripped off.
And the hot air balloon, remember?
Yeah, the hot air balloon. Rip, rip, rip.
Another Franz question. Have you guys ever gotten Bam back for anything that he's done to you guys, like off camera? Have you guys ever like pranked him back, gotten him really good?
Yeah, Phil did one time. he actually put a fake pillow, like I guess
A fake
it looked
body
like
on the bed.
a body on the bed. So Bam was going to come and get him, and Phil hid behind the door, and he tackled him on the bed. It was pretty funny.
He
and
was
I think
scared a little bit.
a little bit, but what else did we did?
But wait, time out. Since I did it, he doubled down, so I'm never going to do it again. He was lightening up, and then I went and did that, and then it reactivated everything.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, we've learned. Don't try to get
Don't
Bam
get even.
back
He'll get
because
double even.
it will. It just comes back way worse. Why bother?
Right. Let's see. How often, or I'm sorry, does Phoenix act like a mini Bam? If so, what is one of the things he does right now that you love the most?
Well, everything that he does right now, I love the most because he's just the cutest kid. He has the cutest smile and he loves skateboards. He loves to sit on them. He likes to stand on them. He wants his daddy to hold him up and ride all over with him holding him going fast. And he's only 15, 16 months old. He loves that the most. Like if he sees Bam on a skateboard, he puts his arms up like, I'm going with you, you know?
Right.
It is the cutest stinking thing ever.
Like she said, everything he does is cute. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is one stinking cute kid and so chill.
Yeah.
Oh, so chill, easy going.
Yeah,
He's
we take
happy.
him everywhere, and he's never in trouble. It's awesome.
I mean, do you know, I actually drove Bam's Bentley across the United States with Nikki. I drove the whole way, and he was maybe 3 months old. No, 3 or 4 months old. And I mean, what a good baby. He's a good traveler. And I mean, like he just didn't make any fuss at all. I mean, he's just easy.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
That's awesome. A lot of people want to know, Phil. I've had multiple people. I asked people to submit questions for today, and multiple people asked me to ask you about funny stories working at Acme.
Funny things at Acme. Well, I used to work the night shift from say 11 to 7 in the morning, and there was a girl checker, and a customer's walking out, and she said, he was a football player from Cheney University, a big guy. And she said, I think he stuffed packs of meats down his pants. Can you get him out? And I said, buddy, keep on going because I'm not sticking my hands down your pants. He just walked out the store and I didn't care.
And how long did you work there? And you haven't been there for some time, right?
Yeah, how long was I there? You know better than I do.
He was there for about 7 years.
At least.
'Cause I figured you must have been because I didn't know you from that, but a few people do, and I'm just like, ask them about Acme. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I was
You
a
know
checker and a baker. So
Yeah.
it's been at least 7, 8 years.
Yeah, when he told me he was a baker, I'm like, what?
Maybe 9 or 10, was it?
I'm like, you can't bake anything.
No, it's all frozen.
Well, I realize that now, but when you told me you announced you were a baker, I'm like, since
Yeah.
when? But it was always funny because when Phil would work the day shift, and it would be like 4:30, and I see Bam and his gang loading the car up, paintballs, and he had his dark glasses on. I'm like, where are you going? He goes, we're hiding out. I said, you cannot shoot your dad in the parking lot of the place that he works. I said, you're going to get him fired. And other people were in the parking lot, like old ladies shopping. You can't do that. And he goes, we won't hurt anybody. And then they come home with the footage, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, you can't go and do that. You're shooting them with paintballs right in the... I mean, he couldn't do that today for sure.
Right.
I got another funny story about Acme. The manager was getting aggravated because I was still working there, and Jackass had come out, and they were getting phone calls all night from Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and he says, Bill, you better tell those people to quit calling here. It's keeping us busy all night. And I said, manager, I don't want to say his name. Mr. Manager, I don't know who's calling either. They're just asking for the Acme, calling up and asking for me. You better tell them to stop. And then he told me, and I told you to quit your kids from wrecking the shopping carts. And I just saw on TV again last night. I said, that was a rerun. I just watched an Elvis movie, and Elvis is still dead. So you're watching reruns.
I remember. Well, it was so embarrassing to Phil because there were there was a whole line at the bakery and nobody wanted to buy any baked goods. They wanted to take pictures or sign autographs. And I remember him walking out and said, I quit today because I was so embarrassed.
Wow.
Like it was bringing, he's not a person who likes a whole lot of attention his way. And it was embarrassing, among the other people that he worked with. And so he just decided that was it.
And the manager started to hate me because all that was going on. So I figured it's time to leave.
Yeah. So, I mean, he just left. And I mean, at the same time, I had my own hair salon and I closed that because too much stuff was going on and I worked for my friends. But it was, again, like, I told him my schedule, for the filming crew and everything else. And they would say, we'd need you all day Wednesday. I'm like, but that's the day I work 12 hours. And they're like, too bad. So it was embarrassing for me to cancel all my appointments, put them on another day. Then you had to cancel them again. And I ended up retiring as well because we couldn't do 2 jobs. I mean, we couldn't come and film Viva La Bam all day. And then on the days that they weren't filming or they maybe didn't need me, I tried to put all my people back on this day. I ended up cutting hair and doing all that on Sundays when I knew we weren't filming.
Right.
Because I knew I could go in without anybody hassling me.
As everybody listening knows, you guys have been pranked countless times by BAM, members of CKY, Jackass, everybody. But is there a day that stands out during any of the shows, any of the videos, movies? Is there a day that stands out as one of the best days that you guys had a ton of fun? As far as like maybe they pranked somebody else and you thought it was a great time.
Well, for me personally, the best time I ever had was it actually happened to be my birthday, but it was when the Civil War came to BAMS and all of the reenactors were there and they camped out and we had so much fun with them that they were just awesome. It was so fun to learn about all the things that they were telling us and filming with them. And I just remember that being a really, really fun time.
Yeah.
And then the promo day that we had the skateboarding monkey and the mariachi band, that monkey loved me so much. He wouldn't let me go. He thought I was his mother. It was the sweetest thing. Yeah, that was fun.
What about you, Phil?
Well, a lot of the memories, BAM hosted a few award shows and we went to a lot of award shows. And we were in the back room and Pink and Fergie were back there talking to BAM and I came in and both Pink and Fergie grabbed me on each cheek and kissed me and said I was the cutest thing they ever saw.
And he's been reminding me of that ever since.
I got kissed by Pink on one cheek and Fergie on the other cheek. It was amazing.
Do you know what? At that award show when BAM hosted the VH1 Rock Awards, that was an amazing time because we helped him do that, and it was a unique opportunity for us. But one thing that did stand out that was just so freaking funny was that Phil was sitting backstage and Robin Williams came up and he was so much smaller than I thought. Like, I guess I thought he was a taller, bigger, heavier guy, and he wasn't. He looked small. And Billy Bob Thornton was really small too. I couldn't believe how small people look, or maybe we're just big. But he sat on Phil's lap and pretended that he was Santa Claus and told him everything he wanted for Christmas. It was the funniest thing I ever saw.
Did you take a picture of that? I think
I did. I took a picture of him sitting on your lap.
There's a picture of Robin Williams sitting on your lap.
On my lap.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's probably on our back hallway. You can see that.
Wow, that is incredible.
But so stinking funny. And he sat right on his lap and he says, and I want a fire truck, and don't forget to bring me, you forgot that last year. You better make sure you get it right this year, Santa. Remember that? That was so stinking funny.
What other, is there any other like celebrity interactions that you guys will never forget? Is there like an idol that you met throughout this whole experience that either you're super happy that you did get to meet or that they didn't live up to your expectations?
Actually, I mean, we had so many. So many times I wanted to have proof that I saw this person, but I remember BAM saying, don't take any cameras because you just don't be that person on a red carpet and taking pictures. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that sucks. But I remember meeting Axl Rose and really thinking, he could be really mean to me, or maybe he doesn't know who I am or anything. And he was so nice. And he was asking me how I was, and CKY was really great, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he knew who I was. Same with Judd Nelson. He was like my date for the night. Remember for Jackass 1, maybe?
And the $6 million man was there.
Oh, it's $6 million. Well, yeah. So Judd Nelson walked me across the street, and he says, "I love the work that you do," and I'm like, hairdressing. You know what I mean? Like, well, and I'm thinking to myself, what work is he talking about? Like, I don't know what work he's talking about, but he was so nice. And yeah, Lee Majors was so great. And, Billy Bob Thornton was really nervous to go on
Yeah,
stage.
we asked why he was nervous because he made 100 movies, and he goes, "A movie, they say take 2. This was a live
He doesn't do live stuff
show." And
well.
he says, "Man, I'm so nervous at live shows." And I guess it makes sense.
I know.
to say
And then
that.
Gretchen Wilson, you pooped on her bus. They made you, though.
They faked it. I didn't poop. Yeah, they faked it.
I'm trying to
But
think of who else was part. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne.
I have a good one and a sort of a bad one, but I might have told the bad one before. But
That's okay.
the good one was we were at the what's that? Steve-O did Dance with the Stars,
Mhm.
and we were going out back, and American Idol just ended, and Paul Abdul saw me from like 100 yards away and came running and did like a 10-foot leap into my arms. And luckily, she's only like 80 pounds, so I could catch her and not
so
be knocked
tiny.
over.
Yeah.
But she leaped 10 feet in the air, and I caught her, and that was pretty neat. And then the bad one was we were on the red carpet for Jackass, or what red carpet was it? MTV Movie Awards or something? But Johnny Knoxville had just done a movie with The Rock.
Okay.
I knew this
Walking
was
Tall.
coming.
And then me and The Rock were side by side, and I looked up and I said, "Hey, nice to meet you. I like your movies." And he said, "Oh yeah, we have a common interest, Elvis." I said, "Yeah, I love Elvis." I said, "Uh-oh." I was acting like Vito. I said, "Uh-oh, here comes Knoxville." He said he's going to kick your ass, and he taps me in the shoulder pretty hard and says, "Get the hell out of here," and he walked away. So I don't know if he was mad that I said Knoxville was going to kick his ass, but he just got up and walked away. So I apologize.
Well, you know what? Sometimes Phil I think he thinks that people are thinking what he's thinking, and he says it very innocently. And it's like, I even heard you say that, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, Knoxville was 2 people away. Like, because
Yeah,
they stopped
like
you and
nobody
interviewed you,
knows
and-
that.
Well, and I said to
Good
The Rock,
grief.
"Here goes Knoxville. You better run." So he just left me.
Good Lord.
You guys still keep in touch with the Jackass crew?
Oh,
Steve-O,
yeah, absolutely.
Johnny Knoxville and stuff? Yeah.
All of
Steve-O
them,
all the
Nate's on
time. Johnny Knoxville all the time.
Wee Man a lot.
Wee Man.
Preston.
Yeah, Preston.
Not so much Dave England and McGee.
Yeah, I haven't talked to them lately, but it doesn't mean that we're all not like on the same
Yeah.
page there. And Jeff Tremaine, we keep in touch with all the time. And those guys are the greatest group of guys, really. They really are.
Yeah.
And your earlier question about not liking any of them, every celebrity we ever met is honest, normal people, in my opinion. I enjoyed every one of them.
Nobody was like a stuck-up snob type.
Not to me ever.
Not
How about
to you
you
guys.
there was somebody, but I can't remember
Not
who
to
it
me
was. No, there was somebody. I'll think of it. Because I remember thinking, oh man, what a jerk. I can't, I'll think of it.
One thing that I was curious about is, so obviously CKY and Jackass kind of revolutionized entertainment to a certain degree. Were you guys like aware of that when it was all happening? Like, were there days where you're just like, this is something that no one else is doing and I'm a part of it?
I knew when the kids were filming, I mean, it was sometimes annoying because they always took like all our stuff, like our shovels and, the rakes and crazy stuff. And then you think you're losing your mind, when they were filming. I remember one day seeing like chicken cutlets in the refrigerator, and I thought, okay, Phil brought them from Acme, he bought them on his way out, and I'll make that for dinner. And I go in there and there's no trace of it whatsoever. Okay. And I'm thinking I'm losing my mind. I asked him if he got them. He said no. And I knew I saw them. So the kids came in with the dailies and they were doing this army scene and they were shooting each other up. And then I said, how did you make the flesh wounds look so real? And they said, oh, it's chicken cutlets and we put them inside of the thing. And I'm like, At least I know I wasn't freaking out. But I think at one point when I realized that our living room in our small house was filling up 3 times a day for showings. And I said to Phil, you know what? This is something special. And I mean, I don't think kids would come here just to make my kids feel better. This is word that went out, like, you need to go see this. And I don't even think that the kids knew exactly what they had because they were younger. They had put it together. And it wasn't until they had actually gone to Iceland and saw it all over a store that they had even the faintest clue how big this was.
Right.
They got mobbed in Iceland, right? That's where they
Yeah,
knew
but they went into
something's
a
up.
video store
they got
and it was
usually
lining
mobbed.
every wall.
Wow.
And at that time, they didn't even know that it was in Iceland. So it
And which video was this? The
The first one.
CKY.
Land
CKY, the
speed,
first one.
CKY land
Yep.
speed.
Okay.
And they found out how big it was. The owner of it or the guy selling it was keeping it from them pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we won't get into all that, but it was like, I think that maybe because the kids were so young, they were taken advantage of a little bit, thinking that, hey, they're young kids, they'll never know.
I was introduced to this whole thing when CKY 2K came out, and I thought it was A, the craziest thing ever, B, the greatest thing ever, and I also thought that if I ever did anything like that to my parents, what Bam was doing to you guys, that I wouldn't survive another year. And but I remember my brother and I grew up. My brother John, shout out to John. We watched the videos all the time, and then Jackass came out, and then everything. It just changed everything. And if you would have told me 15 years ago that I'd be sitting at your dining room recording a podcast with you guys, I would have thought that you were lying. But I'm just really starstruck and in awe just to be sitting here with you guys, seriously. And I feel that way every week that we record with Novak and Frantz too, because. And I met Jess actually a couple weeks ago for the first time, and that was insanity to me because I love CKY the band, and I listened to him play drums and tried to learn how to play drums. That's when I was younger. It's just this crazy thing. I only have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll wrap this up. But this one's for April. Hardest person to kick out of the castle.
Can I place my bet on who the answer is before April answers?
Well,
I'm going to say
what year?
Let him guess.
Brandywine Eel.
He's one of them. It's a
But
long
he's not the top
list.
of the list. No, Eel's not
At
at the
one
top.
point, Brandon Novak was on that list.
He was at the top of the list for a while, but then there's one other one.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I could give you a long list of people that I'm like, you need to get that guy out of your house. You need to get that guy out of your house. And the Brandywine Eel was in the house, and we didn't even know it for a whole month and a half. And one day he came down in his pajamas, and we're like, where'd you come from? You know what I mean? Like, he was like in the turret room, like living like some, I don't know. Crazy. The latest one was Carlos. Oh, the guy who built the ramp. He built a great ramp in Bam's barn. But let me tell you, he and all these guys that built it moved in there, and they said, we'll just be here for about a month. And I had just restored that whole house. Took me a year. And they
4 months
just
later, they're still there.
left.
They were still there.
Yeah.
4
They
months.
just
4.5
left, and
months.
it's like May. And I mean, honestly, I've never been, I feel like bad because I've never been that mean to anybody. It's like, what can we do to help? And I'm like, get out. Like, you need to get out of here. Like, I restored this house, and like, where's all the silverware? Where's all the glasses? Where are all the towels? Like, your dog is in this house going all over the floor. I'm like, you gotta, oh my gosh, please just get out of here. So yeah, I would have to say he's at the top of the list.
I remember when being over at the Castle House and Bam would leave for a trip like first thing in the morning. Everyone would wake up and be like, April's on her way. Everyone has to get out quick because it would usually be because someone was overstaying their welcome, and then April had to go in and be like, you got to go. And no one else wanted to be associated with that.
Well, guess what? There was a lot of times I'd call in and say, I'm on my way over, and I had no intention of going over. And I knew that they would just vamoose.
Well, Bam pretended he hated her being that way, but then
But
later
see,
he thanked her because
he would
he
ask
wanted to get
me.
rid of people too, but he couldn't get rid of
He
them.
would ask me, he says, Mom, can you say you're coming over? Or, hey, Mom, do you think you could get these people out of here? And I'm like, why don't you just ask them to leave? Like, I don't know why you're not asking them to leave. And he says, because I don't know. I don't want to be a jerk. I said, they've been here for a month.
Wow.
Tell them to go.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? You don't have a problem being a jerk to everybody else. Like, be a jerk to them.
CJ, do you have any questions for April and Phil?
No, I don't think so.
I have one more,
Okay.
and it's for both of you. What was your favorite country to visit while doing Viva La Bam, or any of the projects?
You want to go first?
Well, we did the whole 18-day Europe trip, and every one of those countries was awesome. I liked Venice because it's Italy, and I'm Italian. Then we went to the Pisa, Leaning Tower of Pisa. And Paris was awesome. The Oktoberfest. They were all good. Finland was awesome. We went to Finland.
I
remember?
love Finland. I love Paris. I have a really quick, funny Ryan Dunn story if you want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Well, we were in Paris, and of course, Phil and I were looking for the only American burger place in Paris, so he'd be happy. And I see Ryan Dunn and our legal guy out to dinner at a Thai restaurant. So we go out, and I guess we go back to our room, and the next morning, Ryan comes down, and I said, what happened last night? Because I'm hearing that stuff happened. And I said, and where is Ken? He says, Ken's nose is all ripped up. And I said, what happened? He says, oh man, we got so loaded. He got so loaded. And he says, and the worst part is that he says, I couldn't keep him standing up. So he says, I kind of like hailed a taxi, and I turned around and Ken was gone. And I said, well, where was he? And he goes, he fell down a set of escalator steps, and he was at the bottom with the escalator steps ripping his nose up.
Oh, God.
So he says, I ended up getting him on my back, and you know how little Dunn was, and dragging him up, getting another cab, throwing him in the cab, couldn't remember the name of the hotel, but it was kind of near the Eiffel Tower, but several blocks away, and ended up telling him to take him back to the Eiffel Tower, and he drug Ken all the way back to the hotel with him on his back.
Wow.
It was the funniest story ever, and I guess you had to be there because it was hilarious. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Ken, God rest his soul, he's left us, but oh boy, was he was funny. He got in trouble with Vito a couple times in New Orleans too.
Oh, him and Vito were best buddies.
Oh,
They did
boy.
everything together. Him and the lawyer guy.
That was trouble coming.
They did a ton of stuff.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay.
You guys have anything to plug? Like, I know, Abe, you said that you have your shop and everything. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to say to the listeners before we head out?
Yeah, we do actually. I mean, hey, my store is going to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this Memorial Day weekend. It's a ton of fun. We have a tea room in the back. We're going to be putting lots of sale items out on the side yard. We have vintage furniture, and everything's affordable. We have candles. We have Castle Bam candles, all kinds of fun things. And I know you can also go to Big Cartel and get those 4C hoodie sweatshirts that Bam has created. They're really cool. You can order them through there. That's super easy. And Amazon for everything else. You know, if you need a CKY video or you need any of the CKY 2Ks, the 4-packs of the movies, you can order it through there. And I know it's offered at a discount. So, you know, you can have a fun weekend watching, powering all that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching us suffer.
What about you, Phil?
No, I'm just a paperwork guy, nothing to promote.
Oh,
I stay home all day.
He reads
enjoying
newspapers
myself.
and does tons of mail, watches TV, reruns of the same reruns of the reruns of old movies.
I'm getting old and I forgot them. They're brand new to me.
I know. He puts the Elvis movies on. I'm like, again, we're watching this.
Yeah, but to me, it's new again.
Well, dementia must be fun.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show
Thank you,
with us
Taylor.
this
Yeah, well,
week.
thanks for having
Thanks,
us.
EJ.
And speedy recovery to Joe Franz.
Yeah, Joe,
and,
get
Joe
ready.
Franz and
Get
Novak.
better fast.
Yep, and we'll be seeing both of them on the next episode of Novak and Frantz, hopefully. CJ, you did a great job today.
You did.
Thank you.
And again, Might Be News Network, mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. I know a lot of people that listen to that came to the network to listen to shows strictly for Novak and Frantz have gone over and started to listen to other shows. Go check them out. We got Might Be Sports, Might Be News, Might Be Brews, Relatable Radio, Might Be Tunes. It's all over the place. Did I leave anything out? Did I just forget one?
Yeah.
Foundation Radio's on there. They're doing their first episode next week. Live episode with us. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, we have a Patreon page now. Go to patreon.com/MBN Network. It's the easiest way to find us. Check it out. We got 3 tiers, tons of incentives, tons of exclusive content, and monthly giveaways. So check it out. That's patreon.com/MBN Network. I'm Taylor Cooper. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Can I add something?
Yeah, one. Yeah,
I
go
want to
ahead.
challenge Joe Franz to an arm wrestling match when he's better.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a bicep. Good.
I think I'll win.
Wait, good call there, Phil. Tasteless.
Thank you guys so much.